speculative investing versus intelligent investing. In this video, I aim to differentiate the two once and for all so that you can put aside all the emotions or the market sentiment and just focus on well conducted and educated research. So that way, you not only know what you hold, but you structure up your portfolio and you adjust your risk management accordingly. Now, I feel like this is one of the space where a lot of people tend to go wrong, especially with how loud the media can be, like on X, YouTube, Twitter, what else? TikTok, you name it. It can be easily misguided. And it's not just within the crypto space, but it's within the investment space around i- in general, in terms of stock market, real estate, I don't know, business acquisitions, commodities, you name it as well. It's so important to know this because sometimes our emotions tend to get the best of us, and if left unchecked, we make rash decisions, and that will get us wrecked 100% of the time. It's gotten me wrecked a few times as well. So, our aim is to keep it in check with facts, figures, and logic, and set the record straight once and for all. Now, by all means, I'm not saying I'm the know all and be all within this space, let alone the entire financial sector, but I do back my statements based on other prominent businessmen and investors' approach to the market, documents from real financial entities, and research and studies based on real academic institutions as I base my work and portfolio off of their teachings and their guidance, and coupled with some of my own special sauce, of course. So let's start with speculative investing. Speculative investing is all about taking high risk in hopes of achieving high rewards. Let's take an example like a horse bet racing, I don't know what you call it. Let's take that for example. You might win big, but at the same time, and on the same day, you might just end up losing everything. Now, the normal everyday investor will often look at market trends, rumors, or even just rely on gut feeling rather than focusing on the data, the numbers, and other factors that might impact the horse's performance, like its diet, how regularly it exercises, its historical track records, and every opponent it has ever faced in the past. On the other hand, intelligent investing, as taught by Benjamin Graham, who was a prominent investor and a person that I greatly admired, is all about thorough research, careful analysis, and long term perspective. Graham, often referred to as the father of value investing from many other prominent investors and individuals after him, emphasizes the importance on understanding the intrinsic value of an investment. An intelligent investor tend to look for undervalued assets with a solid foundation. They'll look at things like the company's historical track records, their financial statements, what their goals are, and what they're doing to achieve their goals, like partnerships, developments, innovation, so on. And are they compliant? Things like this, right? Because at the end of the day, your aim should be to buy low and sell high. And when you have that backed with solid data, solid analysis, you increase your chances of being right. Versus you rely on gut feelings and speculation and market sentiment, letting other people tell you what to do and what they think and what they think what you should do, things like that. And then you're essentially just flipping a coin and essentially being 50-50 on whether you're right or wrong without doing any real research or study. I mean, let's put it in a more realistic view. Let's say you have me, a speculative investor, who went into the most trendy stock today. Let's say Apple, or let's say Nvidia, right? Oh my god, Nvidia's up 300%. Not gonna lie, that is a big number. But 300%. It's up 10% today. It's bullish, bullish, bullish. Green, green, green. MSN is in on it. Bloomberg is in on it. Wall Street is in on it. And so forth. But I blindly invest without studying the company's financial health, without studying its track records, without understanding whether they're even compliant or not, I could end up wrecking myself. I'm flipping a coin there. And that's dangerous versus an intelligent investor who looks for undervalued assets with those strong foundations. They'll look at growth potential, competitive advantages, financial statements. Is the company profitable or not? Its financial health, and so forth, before even making a decision. Now, here's the thing though, whether you like it or not, these traditional strategies apply to just about everything in life, in our everyday lives. Let's say you have a tree. You planted a tree in your backyard and you know nothing about trees. All you know is that you have to water it and it'll do its trick. That's all you know. So you do that on a day by day basis. But what you're doing also is after you water it, you stare at it. You stare at it for hours every day after watering it. Water, stare. Water, stare. You're expecting it to grow right there and then, which is what it's supposed to do. But again, you didn't do any research, you didn't do any studies on how it works. So you're just doing that, and you getting essentially you will get sick of just staring at it not growing, not doing the things you want it to do. Versus someone who's already done their homework on trees. They know how long it takes for the tree to eventually grow to its full potential. And so he does it differently. He waters a plant maybe on a weekly basis instead of daily. I don't know exactly how trees work either, but he does it on a weekly basis. He gives it the consistent care that it needs. I don't know, he has to trim branches and cut off all the unwanted parts or whatever, right? And instead of staring at the plant all day, all night, for hours, he goes about and do his other business. And then it comes back to water the plants and so forth on a weekly basis. He keeps that consistency because he knows in 3 years later, it grows into a beautiful apple tree. And it does eventually. Now, it's similar to crypto. Sure, there are some, pump and dump projects, right? Something that can give you a quick gain, but what goes up just as fast comes down just as fast. Airplane taking off, it takes literally maybe a few minutes, seconds for it to fully take off and get in the air and maybe get to, I don't know, 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet. I don't know exactly how planes work either. But when it comes down, in fact, sometimes it can come down a lot harder and a lot faster. But essentially, it does come down at the same rate, right? So anyway, the idea is that if your project has a solid foundation, and there's a solid community behind it, and there's a solid use case utility that's actually being used, that's actually changing lives and solving a real world problem, and you're making it work, you're putting in the consistency, you're dollar cost averaging even, or you're actually building on it, and you push it towards its initial goal, or its initial vision for the future, it could work. You increase your chance of being right because you're taking control of it. You're essentially maybe not full control of it, but you have some say in it, and you're one of the reasons why it succeeded the way it did. So that in all likelihood increases your chance of being right and being successful. And so now we come to how I conducted my research. There are three main things that I do. Uh, it might not be different completely to all the details that I've described in within this video earlier, but the three main things are that I look for that gets me hooked at least. One is the community, the team, right? Let's take Ripple for example. The reason why I'm so fascinated with Ripple and why I think they could be a real big deal within the financial realm and the banking sector is because you have all these prominent individuals from Amazon, from Morgan Stanley, and even the former treasurer of the United States joining the board of directors of Ripple, and even stating that Ripple XRP are is essentially going to change the world of cross-border payments and therefore change the world. When you have those people saying that and joining the team, so they're not just saying, they're doing it as well. They're actually joining the team. That's a solid thumbs up for me, green flag for me. I Of course, there's also, look. The thing is, why would these prominent individuals sacrifice their entire reputation to go to a company that's doing a supposedly dumping on retail kind of scheme, right? Why would they do that? I don't. There's no vision behind that. If they could just dump on retail, they'll just dump on retail. Why would these other prominent individuals need to join? And if they did, and if XRP went to $100, then they dump all of it. Then I understand. It's like, okay, they're just, they're hooking you in and so forth. But XRP is still at 50 cents, yo. So that's sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But essentially, that's one of them. The team, right? If you have a solid team with prominent individuals, and your guys are setting up for you're essentially setting up for success because you're surrounding yourself with successful people, and that's always a green flag. And then the second thing I look for is utility. What problem does it solve? How much is the problem worth, right? So that's another thing. And then the third thing for me that's really important, if not one of the most important factors, is its network. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And Ripple had, again, I'll use Ripple as an example. Ripple has a solid foundation of networks across the financial sector, the banking sector, governance sector, everywhere, basically. And they're compliant too, or at least they're trying to be, and they have been making good progress with that. So again, that's one of the reasons. Now, please, Ripple is not the only thing I invest in. Ripple and XRP are not the only things I invest in. So just keep that in mind. I'm just using it as an example because I talk about Ripple quite a bit and XRP. But those would be the three main things that I look for. Um, I could be missing quite a lot of things. This could be infinitely better ways to conduct your research and increase your chances of being right. But these are the three things that have been pretty solid for me. Like the market's dumping, but I actually haven't lost that much money at all. Um, and I'm doing quite well for myself too. So I'm not exactly successful yet, but I am so confident that I will be. And it's to me, it even just falls down to a matter of time. And again, my goal in this video is to differentiate you from being a speculative investor to being an intelligent investor and increase your chance of being successful within the investment space, whether that's around crypto, businesses, building a business, or or real estate, whatever it could be, right? So that's my main goal, and I hope you find a lot of value in this. I really do, because at the end of the day, my goal is to educate. My goal is to provide this free education because I, when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to these things, things that should be taught in school, I think it should be taught for free. I really do. I don't think you should be in thousands of dollars of debt just to learn the basic understanding of controlling your own emotions, managing your money, dollar cost averaging, how to do it efficiently, and so forth. And I'll just dive a little bit deeper into how I structure it up just to give you a better idea. I'm sorry, kind of dragging off a little bit, but one of my examples that I like to do is I like to have a holding bag. So let's say I have, I don't know, 100 XRP, right? I would have three other, the way that I'm doing my portfolios, I've had three other trading positions or spot positions that are easy to trade, that is easily accessible. So holding bag and then three other trade bags, so that I take profit on the way up with these three bags. So one bag might be a take uh, let's say $10, right? $10 bag goes to $10, take profit. The other second bag, set the target at $20, take the profit there. Oops, that I did not mean that. I swear to God, I did not mean that. I'm sorry. But you get the gist. That was weird. Anyway, that's how I structured up. Hopefully, that gives you a better idea of how I mean it should give you a better idea of how I do it. But whether you want to follow that or not, that's up to you, right? And again, nothing in this video is financial advice, but we come to the end. Thank you for sticking around with me, guys. I really appreciate it. If you really liked the video, if you found it informative, and you found that you've learned a few things, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe, support the channel, and I will see you guys very soon, I promise. Thank you. Have a good night.